Welcome, boys and girls. Today you are going to consider reviewing how to write equations and now working on solving them using mental math. Then we will move on to solving using inverse operations, which you'll hear a little bit about today. So an equation, as you know from before, is a number sentence that says two quantities are equal. So two expressions are separated by an equal sign. We know that 4 plus 1 is equal to 5 plus 0. What we look at now is algebraic equations. What would an algebraic equation look like? Think about that as you know what algebraic means and you know what equation means, putting those together. What would that look like? So what it might look like is an algebraic, meaning there's variables in place of numbers. So it might look like when we have what number, a number increased by 4 is 8. So that just means that we're wondering, what is that number? This is an algebraic equation. There's an equal sign making an equation and a variable making an algebraic. So you can write related facts using addition or subtraction. And you can also write related facts using multiplication and division. So this will help you later on when we're looking at solving, knowing that the same numbers can be included in two different equations, one with addition, one with subtraction, or multiplication and division. So you're going to learn about those being inverse operations that you've heard a little bit about and how we can work forward and backwards. So some more vocabulary you want to keep in mind is a solution of an equation is a numerical value for the variable that makes the sentence true. So for example, when I had x plus 4 equals 8, the solution here would be that it's a number plus 4 equals 8. That the solution would be x equals 4. If I were to plug x in, the value 4 plus 4, it would make both sides equal 8. It makes this equals part true. Okay? So keeping the sentence true, which means keeping it equal. Fun fact is that an equation that contains a variable is neither true nor false until it is replaced with the number. So right now, this is neither true nor false until I find its solution. So that's considered a solution. Solving an equation is just the process of finding the solution. What you're going to learn is to use inverse operations to help you find the unknown. Today we're actually going to use mentally that will help us lead into finding the inverse. So remembering that addition and subtraction are opposites. They undo each other. And multiplication and division undo each other as well. A lot of vocab, just some things to process right now and really put into play later. So step for solving an equation mentally. First thing you're going to do is write the equation. So I'm going to rewrite this one. And I can write it, fun fact, I can write it the other way because as long as they stay on the same side of the equal, or each part is with each other on either side of the equal sign. So I can rewrite it that way. So the variable is on the left. And then I plug in what I know for the variable. So I read this and I say 14 plus what number gives me 18. And when they're basic enough, I know that that should be 4. So I plug in what I know, and then I check my solution by simplifying each side. So 14 plus 4 is 18, g equals 18. So mentally, I know that the only replacement for x is 4. So you're just reading it and asking yourself what fits. So I can read this like we did yesterday. What number decreased by 5 is 20? Well, that would mean that the number is 5 more. So I try 25 minus 5 equals 20. And sure enough, it's true. So my variable equals 25. So this says, I could rewrite it if I want. 8 is what number divided by 3? Or instead, I can say what number divided by 3 is 8. So that would mean that a number times 3, 8 times 3 would give me that number. So I tried 24. And 24 divided by 3 is 8. So my variable is equal to 24. It's my solution. It says just mentally. So when you ask yourself, the product of 7 and what number is 56, in your head you might say, oh, I know that 7 times 8 is 56. And then you check it, and then it's true, and then you celebrate. So again, we already practiced this writing an equation, so we're going to try some. Writing equation from a word problem. Choosing the letter to replace your unknown quantity is just called defining the variable. So when you're asked to define the variable, that's what it means. So our steps are going to be that we're going to define the variable, we're going to write an equation, and then we're going to solve. So John has 16 video games. Easy enough, I can remember that. This, when they're talking about this, they're talking about the number of video games that he has. Is 5 less than Chelsea has? I don't know how many Chelsea has, and I know that because the question says, how many video games does Chelsea have? So the question always tells you what you're looking for. So we're wondering about video games that Chelsea has. So I'm going to define my variable as C, number of video games Chelsea has. Define my variable. I'm going to write the equation. What I know is that John has 16. I also know that's what John has, which is 16, which is this, is 5 less than what Chelsea has. Remember, that's not Chelsea less than 5. That would be in reverse. It's 5 less than Chelsea. Okay? So that's my equation. Is John 16 is 5 less than Chelsea? Well, what number is 5 less? 16 is, then you have a number, you're trying to figure out what number with 5 less is 16. So that means it's 5 more than 16 in reverse. So I try 21, and I check, and it's true. So Chelsea has 21 video games. Try another one. Aaron buys a movie, popcorn, and a soda for a total of that much. So I have movie plus the popcorn plus the soda, right now is what I'm thinking, is a total, and so I know I'm adding, for $6.25. What is the cost of popcorn? So whatever the question is, means that's what I don't know. So I'm looking for P, popcorn. And it looks like the movie and soda cost $4.70 together. So those two together are $4.70. So my defining variable is P for cost of popcorn. And I know that if I add that to the movies and soda, which is like that, it'll give a total that I paid for the movie, or for the trip. So I'm thinking in my head, well, maybe this isn't a mental math one. So I'm thinking, okay, well, without the movie and the soda, how much am I paying? So I find out that the popcorn, without the other costs, is going to be $1.55. So I can check that. So I would do, if it's $4.70 for the movie and soda, and the popcorn's $1.55, that should equal my total cost. And it does, so I know how much my popcorn was. So, now we're trying mentally for now. So showing your work would be just plugging in the answer you think it is and checking. We can make mistakes, so then we know if we were right or wrong. Later, we will learn more about inverse operations. See you soon.